Hi, this is Clarence Moye with the Words Daily here with Christa Miller, co-star of Apple's Shrinking, which I recently caught up with. I was not on the initial bandwagon. I have to tell you a funny story. When I started a couple of months ago, I was on a cross-country trip and unfortunately caught COVID for the first time, when COVID was over.
Yeah.
And I was sequestered in my house. My family and I had a beach house rented. And so I sent them away. I said, you might as well go to the beach. I'm going to quarantine in the house. And then I watched Shrinking and sobbed at every single episode. I don't know if it was if it's a funny and sweet show and sad at times. And I was alone and I cried a lot. I don't know what was going on. I want to dive into that with you though. But first, I want to ask, I have been a fan of yours for a long time, and you have this gift of being a part of an ensemble and working within a comedy ensemble, but also standing out in that ensemble. How do you do that?
That's so nice of you to say. Thank you. Um, you know, I I don't know. I'm do you Bill's going, my husband helps. Bill, I'm not I will kill you if you don't close the door to the bedroom. See, we're in my apartment, so you can hear everything.
He's not
Um,
allowed to talk. He's on strike.
he's not allowed to talk, he's on strike, he shouldn't even be around. Um, I think I've been lucky enough to be in shows that have been beautifully cast and beautifully written, and they always make time for everyone. And I love being in an ensemble. I just love bouncing off all the different energies. This show in particular, everyone is so specific and different energies and different comic energies and dramatic energies that I don't know. It's really fun to work with every different component of that. I think everyone stands out in our cast.
Mm.
My opinion.
So when you look at the characters that you've played from, things like Cougar Town to Shrinking, how much of the characters that you play, how much of you is in the actual characters that you play? I mean, how much of that, obviously they're characters that are written, but how much of yourself do you put into those characters?
I feel like when I'm always bringing an aspect of myself to a character, and some are exaggerated, and some are, you know, aspects of my personality that maybe I don't have all the time. You bring an aspect of that out. Like on Cougar Town, I used to make my husband laugh. Like if we'd be out, I would say outrageous things, which he would then exaggerate, and then I would say it on the show as if it was mine, but it was so exaggerated. Um, it's they're always different. I mean, it is an aspect
Mhm.
of mine. I think this show is different because Cougar Town and Scrubs were kind of more broad comedy, and you were really playing the jokes. And this show is more character-driven comedy, which is a
Mhm.
little different rhythm. I had to really find that groove. It was different. It was a challenge, and it was exciting for me to figure that out.
It's also that was actually my next question. So excellent segue. When I look at something like Shrinking and something like Cougar Town or Scrubs, Shrinking has much more, and clearly I tapped into that, much more of an emotional aspect to it. Is that more challenging for you to play?
I really love it. I mean, I love doing that part of it. I mean, I when I first started acting, I thought, I was going to do all this dramatic work and be very emotional and dark and do all of this work. And I did an episode of one of my first jobs was Kate and Allie, but then I did an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and I was like, wait, this is the most fun gig. And it's like a regular schedule, and everyone's laughing, and then there's a studio audience like doing a play. This is what I want to do. But doing the drama is really fulfilling, in that you're doing drama and then you're also being funny.
Mhm.
You get to have everything at the end of the day. You feel like you've kind of gone through it, but also had some laughs, which is kind of what life is, right?
Right.
In dark times, you're kind of laughing. I mean, we are always trying to make, you laugh too.
Yeah, I can
Or
tell.
when you're COVID and you felt blue and everyone was at the beach, we're also laughing. Yeah.
Laughing through tears. It's,
Yeah.
it's
Laughing
my
through
favorite
tears.
emotion. um, when you look at Shrinking, obviously Jimmy's character, Jason Segel's character Jimmy, is driven by grief. You know, within the first couple of episodes, the grief of losing his wife and sort of not knowing how to raise his daughter. Liz steps in, but what is driving that connection? What drives Liz within those first couple of episodes?
I think she really is someone that wants to do the right thing and loves children and sees that there's a child in need. I think she's the mom that's the PTA mom that does everything, um, to make things run smoothly, to make the moms that have helped my ass because I've worked when having three children and moms that help me. Um, and I think she stepped in and just automatically did the right thing. And then, now she's an empty nester and she, I think, wants to keep that, but she knows that she can't. She wants Jimmy to come in and have a relationship with Alice, and she knows she has to give it up. So she's, sad about it, but knows that she has to do the right thing.
Of course, and of course, the empty nest syndrome, which you talk about. You know, her son having gone away to college and not knowing, kind of, being at that midpoint of her life where she doesn't know where to go. Here's an easy thing to do, not an easy thing, but here's an immediate thing that she can sort of grab onto and give her life purpose. That sounds harsh, but I think there's an aspect of it to that.
And she can put off thinking about what she's putting off the eventual reality that she's got to figure out something to do, that she's still a vibrant, smart, capable person, but you have to find something to do.
Right.
And I've had friends that have gone through that, and it's a hard couple of years. And oddly, both of my friends that were those moms and then were in those positions have two separate successful businesses, which is incredible. I'm so happy for them, and are great. They're like annoyed when their kids come home now. They're like, oh my God, when are these kids going to go back to college?
Right.
So, you know, yeah, I think she's just putting it off, delaying the inevitable.
You talked about being a part of the ensemble. So much of the comedy that comes from Shrinking comes from the interactions with other characters. You have extremes. I want to start with Derek, played by Ted McGinley. A hilarious relationship. She treats him like garbage most of the show, but lovingly so. I think, it's not in. There's no meanness to it, but it's definitely a, I'm going to take out all my life's frustrations on you right now in this moment. Talk to me about working through that with Ted.
Ted is just a joy to work with. I mean, he's so funny. He kills me, but he's also so incredibly good. I'm I couldn't be more thrilled. And we have a very fun, nice relationship. I knew him from before. Bill's wanted to cast him in something forever. So I've known Ted. He's also lives close to me in LA. Um, Working with him is a joy. And I feel like we have um we're just different. It's not that I'm mean to him, is that I like my solitude and he wants to follow me around all day.
Mhm.
And also I feel like we have a sexy marriage. Bill and I really wanted or Bill wanted to make it that it was not one of these marriages that's like people, when you go out with couples and they're not having sex, they're like have a sexy, fun marriage and love each other. They're just
Mhm.
different, they're just different types of people.
Yeah.
But working with him, I mean, he's so funny, but he's also so good. I
Mhm.
love him.
Yeah, it's the scenes are a joy, and I love it when he kind of turns the table on the end and says, "I'm going to retire now." This is, this it's a great moment.
That
He was a
scene
little bit my
annoyed me
hero.
to no end
Why did it annoy you?
because it was just so annoying. I was like, no, you have to get out of the house.
Yeah. Um, you also have Liz also has a very strong relationship with Jessica Williams, Gabby. Antagonistic for a long time, and then ultimately become strong, close friends. Talk to me about working with that through that partnership with Jessica.
It just felt so fun. It felt so natural because at the beginning I didn't know Jessica at all. And we just would be in these scenes that we were antagonistically. each other. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden we would start laughing while we were shooting those scenes, or we'd be putting on music and dancing. And then when it kind of came that I was obsessed with her, I am obsessed with her, and I love Jessica. And it's so much more fun to be best friends with her in the show,
Yeah,
I mean, and also our comedy timing is different. So I think together it really works. And when I'm working with her, I'm really on my toes. Like it's very fun.
I love the gift of the polished rock. Where did that aspect of Liz's personality come from? That this is something that she was doing at rock polishing.
I mean, I'm gonna have to admit to you that so I am a super geek. And during the pandemic, I always had tumbled rocks, but then it expanded. And now I have a saw, a wet saw that I cut. I love agates, and I cut them. And then I got a cabbing machine, and then I took it out into our backyard. So our backyard looks like ridiculous. And Brett came over one day to work with Bill, and he was like, what is that setup? And it's like, it's just rock dust everywhere and safety goggles. And I'm like cutting things. And he goes, oh, we have to put that in the show. But it
Yep.
can't, giving the rocks is that. So I tumble them. And after I've capped them and polished them and everything, I have them in glass jars in my bathroom. And agates, they're beautiful. And my kids, friends always would want to see the agates. My kids would always talk about, you should see my mom's rocks. And also when my kids friends came over, I would show them how to do rocks, and they just be into it. And they would bring me rocks, they would find rocks and bring them, and I'd polish them for them. And so then I would give them a rock, and that's how it all started.
I laughed when I saw it too because my son, when he was like 9 or 10, went through a tumbling phase himself. He had this little kit that we bought,
Yep.
and he would, work those things out. He got it. Outgrew that phase, so he doesn't. We don't have jars of
I never
agates in
outgrew
our
it.
house.
I never outgrew it. Just so you know, I have 3 tumblers. One's 15 pounds, and then I have a
Wow.
vibratory one that you don't even know. Before I left, I had to make sure, because I'm in New York. Before I left LA, I had to make sure to set up a tumbler so it was going while I was here. Because why waste the time? Tumbler should be going.
There you go. Always thinking.
Always
What were
think.
some What were some of your favorite moments across this first season of Shrinking?
There's so many. Um, there's so many. I mean, I love all the scenes with Harris and Lukita. I think they're so sweet. And also how Jimmy's relationship evolved with Lukita. She just played it. So it means she had a right to be so angry. And I personally, I loved busting Harrison's chops because it was so funny, because everyone's kind of, you know, we all are obviously respectful of Harrison, but Harrison's my neighbor, I know. So for me to come in and bust his chops, to me, was the most fun. And
Wow.
driving with him, he used to drive, he has a golf cart, and we used to drive to different locations, and you take your life into your own hands. Driving him to get with a set, that'll warm you up. You are ready to go by the time you get there.
Driving to the set with Indiana Jones, I can't imagine a better thing in life.
Oh my God. The speed bumps, doesn't matter. We're flying up. I know he's taken off what's it called? There's like a thing on a golf cart that you can take off.
Hmm.
It's like golf terminology, I forgot, but and to make it go faster. I mean, his
Oh
his
yeah.
golf cart goes like a Porsche.
Oh wow. He's got to be careful. He's a national treasure. Well, I think those are all the questions I had for you today, Krista. Thank you so much, and best of luck to you, and good luck getting back to the Tumblr.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate it.
No worries at all. You take care.
You too.
Bye bye.